Alright, welcome back everyone. We are going to look today at how to code switches. So our first switch we're going to do, we're going to put this guy right up here. This is called a bump or bumper switch. If you're ever wondering what the names are, they are printed on the bottom too. It looks like an easy button from Staples. Okay, and all we got to do is put a couple screws through these little holes, and we can do that and hold it down to the bottom. So just put it somewhere in front of the Cortex, maybe just to the right of where you have the motor. Mine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces in, and that leaves me enough room to put some other sensors in there in the future. Okay, so I'll let you attach that, then take the wire, and we are going to plug this into digital port 2. You'll notice that the wires are color-coded. To make it easier to plug in, I always take the black wire and put that on the side towards the numbers. So I'm going to go down here on the Cortex. I'm going to find the word digital, and then number 2. I'm going to plug this in right next to the number 2. If it doesn't go in easily, just jiggle it a little bit, and the little pins will kind of find their homes. And that's really all you got to do. You're set up, so now you got that all plugged in. Let's code it. All right. So if we go back to our Robot C, you've started up Robot C 4.0. We need to open up a new page. So I click on New File. We're going to check our settings. By now, this should be a good habit for you guys. When you go into make a new file, you're just going to go to Robot, all the way down to Platform Type. Again, the first thing to check is that it says 2.0 Cortex. That's the kind of Cortex we got. I have a little dot. Check. We're good there. Natural Language PLTW is a language that all our equipment speaks. Check mark. That's good. Up here, communication mode, USB only. That's good. And then the last thing, remember, I go to View, down to Preferences, and make sure there's no check mark by Auto File Save. Again, if you have new laptops and you haven't used it before, you might have to adjust those. Okay? Now, we're ready to get some work done. Let's tell the computer what we've plugged in to our Cortex. That, again, is motors and sensors setup. I do still have a motor. That's plugged into port 2. So under the Motors tab here at the top, port 2, I'm just going to type in right motor. Really, you could name this whatever you want, but since I named it right motor last time, I'm just going to name it right motor again this time. And that's VEX 393 motor. We have either the 269 or the 393. You can choose either one of those and your program will work. Okay, so that's our motor. We can click Apply. And then we have a sensor that we plugged in. This is a digital sensor. So the tab at the top that says Cortex Digital Sensor, click that tab. We plugged it into number 2. And for number 2, we're just going to call it what it is. It's a bump switch. B-U-M-P-S-W-I-T-C-H. Bump switch. I capitalized the S in the second part of that word just to make it kind of easier to read. Okay. What kind of sensor is it? We go down here at the top. It's just a touch sensor. You got to touch it and then it'll make something happen. Okay? Bump switch, touch sensor. Excellent. Those are all the things that we plugged into the Cortex, and again they show up here at the top. Lines 1 and 2, so you can see what you got plugged in. Alright? On to our program. Natural language is what we always use. Click the plus sign by natural language. Now, something new. It's not going to our program isn't going to do anything until we press that switch. So try to remember the word until here at the bottom. And I'm going to click the plus sign by until. If you remember what kind of sensor that was, it's a touch sensor. So I'm going to go all the way down until and use the very bottom command. It says until touch. It's a touch sensor, until touch. I'm going to click and drag that and put it over here in line 7. Okay. Now, sensor port. Between the parentheses, we have to type in using our keyboard and tell it exactly what we have plugged into the Cortex. So I'm going to double click the word sensor port. And this is a bump switch. So I could type in bump switch. Or if I wanted shorthand up here at the top, you see it says DGTL2. I could type that as well. This is an L. The ones and the L's kind of look identical. So I have to make sure it's DGTL2 or bump switch. Let's go shortcut. DGTL2. And that should work for me. Okay. what do I want to have happen when I touch that sensor? I want the motor to start. So I'm going to go to Movement, Start Motor. I'll click and drag that onto the next line. Remember, these always go from top to bottom. The motor port, we plug the motor into port 2. So typing, I'm going to change that into port 2. And speed. Remember, speed's from 0 to 127. Let's go 127. Max. Open it up, see what it does. And then we want that to run for 3 seconds. So if you remember how to make it run for 3 seconds, it's not movement. Robot motion we don't use. Until we did already use until, so it's wait. Click the plus sign in front of wait. Drag the command that says wait time, and drop that over there. Okay. Double click the word wait time between parentheses, and this is where we type, and all I got to do is type in the number 3. That means it's going to wait 3 seconds before it goes on to the next line, whatever we put on line 10. Okay. Then line 10, let's just stop the motor. Movement, down here to stop motor. I'm going to click and drag. Then which motor do I want to stop? I double click the word motor port and type in port 2, P-O-R-T 2. Okay. See if I made any errors. I click the compile button at the top. Hey, I'm in luck. There's nothing down in this bottom window, so I have no errors. Now let's plug in an orange cord and kind of see what happens. Again, the order you want to do this, get your orange cord, always plug it into your Cortex first. Get the other end of that orange cord and plug it into the USB port of your computer. You'll notice that the lights do go on your Cortex because it's getting some power from your laptop, but the robot light is still red, and that means our Cortex is off. So let me just adjust this. We're going to go down to this on-off switch right here and just click it on. My robot light turned green. Let's see if I can download my program. If this ever doesn't work and it doesn't give you this little program thing, sometimes it says no communication with VEX, all you got to do is unplug the orange cord, turn the Cortex off, and follow that same set of instructions. So plug it into the Cortex, plug it into your computer, turn it on again, and it should work. Sometimes we do that a little too fast and it just gets confused. Alright, so here I have my start command. I'm going to click start. And nothing has happened yet. I look at my program. The green line says start motor. That's the next thing that's going to happen in my program, but it's waiting for me to press the bump switch. So, that moment of anticipation. If I press the bump switch, will the motor start? Hey, it works. If I want it to go again, I have to press the start again on my keyboard. Press the touch switch, the bump switch, and it works. This time we're going to build on this program in the future, so make sure you save what you have written. Okay? We're going to go up here to save, and we're going to give this a title. Call it bump switch. Save. Make sure at the top it says you're in your documents. You don't want to save it on your computer. And then down here type in bump switch. And save. Alright, hope that works for you. Good luck.